Anyway, so here's the thing, guys.
So
here's the thing. So we just checked 3 hours of recording, and somehow it's just poof, magic gone.
It corrupted.
It corrupted. So we're gonna do a shorter version, and then we'll do this again.
And we'll show you what we made.
We'll show you what we made, and I'll go through questions. But first, I would like to ask Maya, what are you making right now?
Do we need to do the intro again?
Oh yeah. Okay.
Hey guys.
Wait. Well, let me just say, we already know this video is fucked. So this is Maya. Maya, previously known as the hippie crochets.
Yeah.
She's here today to join me in a parallel play. We've been doing this for 4 hours, maybe 3 hours. We've had fun though, so you know it's fine.
We've been yapping.
We've been yapping, and you know I'm just sad that so much of that is deleted because some of it was
good
so good. I just hope you all know what you were deprived of.
Yeah, you really missed out on
Yeah, you really missed out on a lot of that. So anyways, show what you were working on.
Okay, well, I originally brought a ski mask that I was going to make into like a little moss garden. I made this frog. It's supposed to go like that. But then I was like, actually, I'm feeling like making a ring. So then I made that ring. And then I was like, you know what? I made this last night, this like mesh cap, and then I was going to beat it, and I was like...
Last night?
Yeah.
In one sitting. That's crazy.
Yeah. This is easy. This is harder. Beating this.
Yeah,
so I gave up.
Moved on.
Thank God I honestly didn't record because I was sitting here for like 30 minutes just trying to like put one chain on this thing.
You know what? I always assumed that there was something that I said on there that was just not meant to see the world.
Yeah.
Like, perhaps my 45-minute complaint about pierogies and then environmental classes. And if anyone wants to hear about how those worlds collide,
maybe you guys want to hear about
our
our take on fast fashion.
Our take on fast fashion.
Yeah. I started this like a little balaclava, little candy cane, or cane. Con candy.
Con candy.
It's kind of giving
I like
con
it.
candy. So that's gonna be that.
Mine was whipping shit up over here.
I've been whipping
cooking
shit
in the
up.
kitchen.
And then I just kind of stopped, and then Sammy completed something.
Well, I started and completed. I'm actually very happy that I started and completed because I've yet to make a small piece where I've been able to do that. So this is. I don't want the beads to fall.
The beads have been flying.
This is the piece. You can see it on an angle.
Tell me a bit about this piece, Sammy. What do you...
About this piece. So I designed this morning because I wasn't sure what I was going to do today. This is how all my pieces go. I want to do a deer. And then I was like, what else can I do? And then all of this kind of came together. I had the color scheme in my mind, and then all the materials just came after the fact. So this came after the fact. Maya saw that happen. The original video saw that happen.
You guys won't see it happen.
You guys won't see that happen. It wasn't meant to be. So this is that. So we got what you were working on. How does creativity show up for you? How does it show up in your life?
It shows up kind of spontaneously, honestly. Like I was saying earlier that it'll come in like bursts of energy. Like I'll come home from work. I usually work nights. And then I'll be like, oh my god, I was thinking all day about something. And I'll go home and like clear my desk. And I'll sit and then things just kind of happen. But like sometimes throughout the day, I'll get an idea and I have to like jot it down or like draw it out. But
yeah,
I feel like lately, now that I'm being more like playful and like mindful with my time of creating, it flows more naturally. When before, like if I couldn't do something, I'd just not do it.
That makes sense. It's like rest.
Less pressure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's like performance anxiety. It's like if you tell yourself that you have to be really good at this one thing, like you're not going to perform well.
I won't do it. Yeah.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense to me. When it comes sporadically, do you find it like seasonally relevant? Like, do you find that you were more inspired by like the winter or like the summer? Do you have more energy in the summer?
It's definitely like, I know I work a lot at night, but like if it's a gloomy day, I won't have like as much creative energy. Does that make sense?
Yeah, unless it's sad creative energy. Unless I want to write a poem about how sad I am, then you're right. It doesn't like resonate the same way.
It doesn't resonate the same, but like. Oh, I could go about this in different ways.
Well, I like that one. You said you're more active at night, so are you inspired by like are you inspired by the darkness?
By the darkness.
No, but like, are you like inspired by the moon and like, or like night at all, or is it just like that the time of day just feels right?
It's kind of just like more like my time. Like it's more peaceful. I find like it's like the time I can come back and I don't have anywhere to go. I can just like put music on
Real ones get
vibe.
what that means, in the sense that, like, some people are just, like, so happy and they can fully relax if they have something to do later in the day. It's like, no. I want to make sure that, like, first of all, makeup off, sweats on. And that is, like, fine, but I'm not gonna, like, it's not the same as, like, being so set for bed, there's nothing else to do. There's nothing. You're not going anywhere, you can, like, really kind of just relax.
Even, like, I take it day by day, so, like, if I have something tomorrow, I'm like, that's a tomorrow thing, like, what do I want to do now?
Yeah, so in our original video, we were talking about life philosophy, and you were talking about how it's, like, very go with the flow and, like, no pressure. And how did you get there? Like, what brought you there? Because obviously that kind of implies that wasn't maybe always the case. And then
I will say that, like, it was very hard for me to start things if I didn't know what, like, I never knew what direction I wanted to go. I didn't know what things worked. I started with wire wrapping. So, like, I was doing totally different things. Like, I never thought I'd combine them. I never thought, like, I was played it very safe, I think. And it kind of got easier when I just wanted to make things that I liked making. And when I took the pressure off of, like, what I wanted to make, it was better. I kind of found more of, like, the things I like doing versus what I don't. But, like, I used to be the person where, like, if I just didn't try. I just kind of do this self-pity thing where, like, I'm not good at it, so I'm not going to do it. Like, I'd be very hard on myself about it. And a lot of part of it was, like, going to therapy and, like, just not being as hard on myself. And then it kind of gets easier.
It does get easier. It's one of those things where it's like, it's a part of the process, part of getting older is, like, finding trust in yourself. And therapy is, like, the best way to do that.
She, like, reminded me that it's, like, I don't know, tap in more into your, like, childlike energy, like,
what
do you want to make then? Like, make it now. Like, how do you feel now? Like, make things based on how you're feeling.
Well,
like,
and also, like, kids are so present. Like, even the most anxious of kids, like, to live with a curious mind is the cure for all ailments, like, genuinely. So it's like, if therapy is going to teach you to, like, reconnect with the mindset of being a child and, like, what really made childhood so cool was that everything was new and inventive, and there was so much to be explored, and you could come up with so much because so much was new, and, like, everything is being analyzed about, like, what is this? Like, what is this? I have vivid memories of being like, what does this word mean, Dad? What does this word mean? What is it? Like, you know, I, like, genuinely just, like, you don't know, so what is that? I don't know. I think it's such a valuable approach when you're an adult, because, like, people just take things and they use their, like, stored memory of what that is versus, like, actually, like, seeing it for what it is. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense. Until you actually do it, you're like, this is way easier.
Yeah, like, if you're like really coming in with, like, a childlike mind and you're like, what is this? What am I looking at? And then you have, like, more of that clarity. Easier to approach too.
I feel like AI is really not helpful for, like, creatives.
No, the issue with AI, well, first of all, is, like, AI
there's a lot of
art.
issues.
It's also, I'm sorry, guys, I'm falling for it. Like, I'm seeing some AI clips and I'm like, whoa!
Yeah.
What is that? And then people in the comments are like,
AI.
They're like, this is such obvious AI. I'm like, didn't see the 8 fingers. I did see a scary thing. Where was I going with that? Don't remember. Well,
environmentalism.
Oh yeah, I saw AI. I saw an AI clip of news.
Really?
Like a news anchor, and it was, like, kind of good. Like, I was like, if they didn't say this is AI, I probably wouldn't have known.
Horrible.
Yeah. Imagine if a relatively tech literate person is saying that.
My dad falls for that shit on Facebook, you know, like.
Oh yeah, I mean, people fall for RFK Jr. So like I'm not surprised. Like, humans, it makes sense. Like, humans aren't that. Like, we're not all that. It makes sense that we take things at face value. We see it and we're like, yep, and we value our lived experiences the highest because it's like what it's very, like, shallow thinking. So it makes sense. Everyone has that. It's more like, do you do the second thought, which is, like, the investigative side. Where was I with that? Oh yeah, believing in AI. And it's like, if you're not thinking about it, you're not doing critical thinking, which is one of those things that they should be teaching in schools, but they're, like, less likely to do that now. If you don't have that, then everything is right. Everything is exactly as it is. Because I'm granting authority to what I'm seeing, I'm not questioning it at all, and then I'm consuming it.
You gotta question everything.
I gotta question everything.
Question everything.
Fashion. Once upon a time, you could tell who people were based on what they wore. You still can, to some degree. Like, you could kind of get, like, a sense of their vibe. Now, I think we've started to, like, everyone dresses like they shop at Urban Outfitters, which is fine. But that used to be like like you could kind of get more of like a feminine side from especially men, I feel.
Mm-hmm.
Like you could get a sense of like values, and you can get a sense of like who you are in the world, and then suddenly the great example is like the punk rock movement. Like people who were punk were like, they were anarchist, and they were like, if you saw a punk person you kind of knew that they held those values, and now anyone who dresses in punk, you like, they maybe just like metal music, or like you just like the way it looks, like it's not associated with like political affiliation. And I was talking about this with my friend because she is doing her PhD. It's like political science, but specifically in the context of gender, and she was talking about how there's an issue with like queer baiting.
Yep.
And like how like now every man has a mullet and a mustache, and you can't tell if it's like a man with a mullet and a mustache who believes in human rights or if it's one who doesn't, you know, because it's just like that's so true. The appropriation of style to like because
and men are blending in.
They're blending in.
Like they all paint their nails now. How do I know?
Yeah, and it's like once upon a time it was because you genuinely didn't care, and now it's because you're trying to perform that you don't care. And it's just
you come off as more safe to women.
You come off as more safe, and I'm also like, we're not like that. To me, is like putting leaves over like
it's a trap.
Like it's literally like it's a trap, and like it's like it's not fine. It's not fine if you're you know whatever. But I was gonna say it's fine to dress in a way that isn't your aesthetic if you're not doing it to like
don't trick people into thinking you're something you're not.
Yeah, like it's just kind of odd. I don't know. It's odd, but it's funny that it's true.
Well, either it's like they're authentic and genuine, or they're manipulative. Like
I love a male manipulator though. Dudes love a manipulator. Unfortunately, I predominantly listen to male manipulator music. So
are we hypocrites?
Women can't be hypocrites. No, because I think that's just like such a specific also arm of it. Because I think sometimes like in the case of what my friend was talking about. It was someone in her program who was evidently doing that, like evidently queer baiting, and she's in politics and gender, so, you know, just kind of like playing onto women's sense of safety and whatever, but then also spewing absolutely conservative bullshit.
Crazy.
And it was like, so what? I get that you think it looks good and like aesthetics can just be aesthetics, but because historically humans have always been able to like, it's a part of like detecting the kind of like you're kind of looking at someone and being like taking in information and kind of trying to get a vibe about them.
Well, like you're saying, I think fashion's kind of mixed into like a mix of like a bunch of different eras that we've had, and it's kind of like flown by. Like people dress like either very streetwear 90s, or you can like the Y2K things come back, you know, like
we are only so creative. We're recycling a lot of style,
which is fine. There's nothing wrong with it, but it's like a mix you can't tell anymore.
Also, and also, like, I am just, like, so one for clothing being, like, a form of artistry. Like, wear cool shit. And I mix... First of all, this isn't really the coolest outfit I could be wearing while saying this, but I love a cool outfit because you can just, like, put it together like a puzzle. And you're like, oh, it didn't make it a look. People are really good at it, though. You know, like those wearing versus styling videos? Like, I'm a wearer. I'm a wearer. I'm not a styler.
That overwhelms me.
And also, like, I'm not confident enough in that I'm doing it right. I'm like, oh, I'm not gonna fuck with this. This is how it looks.
I need a way bigger closet, unfortunately, to, like, be more confident.
Yeah. And I also, like, predominantly shop secondhand, so it's, like, it's more of a draw.
It's like,
am I gonna get something that I
actually like?
Like, as it's actively getting dark. Do you feel that creation is integral to you? And when I asked you this before, I said, do you feel that creation is integral to you in both the sense that, like, it comes about naturally, and then follow-up question, that it feels, like, necessary for your well-being?
It's always kind of felt necessary. I feel like a period of time I ignored, like, my more creative side, just because I thought I wasn't creative, which is crazy. But I was always kind of, like, entrepreneur, trying to think, like, taking things apart to see how they worked. Watching my great-grandma crochet. It always kind of fascinated me. I took art in high school, like most people do. But I tried a lot of different things, and, like, a part of me just didn't touch it for a while, just because I tried so many different things, but, like, the very basis of it, and I wasn't immediately good at it, so then I just was like, no.
Pass.
Nah.
Yeah.
But when I started, like, focusing on myself and, like, doing more things for myself, I realized that, like, you can really do anything if you just keep doing it. So it's kind of become easier, and a big part of why I protect this part of me so much is just because, like, it's my creative time where, like, I can be myself and let things flow. it's like
zone.
No one else is there but me. This is my thoughts and my, you know.
Do you find like the presence of people to be exhausting? I find that.
I do.
I'm just an introvert at heart, but
I will burn out.
All my hobbies are solo.
When I'm in my space and able to just create, it's such a beautiful, like...
I know. Warm hug, my life.
I get exhausted, out. But then being in my space and, like, art, and able having, like, cool art friends who also just, like, I get to see her art all the time, like...
That's how I feel. Whenever I'm wearing her jewelry, I'm
like, look, my friend made this!
Most people are like, that. Who made that? And I go, Maya.
Yeah. Alright.
I go, Maya. Oh, these ones too.
Oh, that?
Oh, exactly. Same thing with Winston's collar. Oh, who made that? Maya.
If you ever want a clown collar, let me know. Holla.
Holla for the collar.
Holla for the collar.
Holla for the collar. Greatest challenges. I think that's just the part we went into pierogies.
Greatest challenges. When Sammy got food poisoning.
Oh, yeah. Changed my gut biome forever. Greatest challenges for, like, you right now, and then greatest challenges you think that, like, new artists or just emerging artists are...
Greatest challenge for me right now is finding the time to do everything.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I feel like I've been on go mode this whole entire year, which is, like, good in a sense, but...
Is it survival or is it go mode? Like, do you know what I mean? Like, are you just busy or are you, like, busy out of necessity? How
good question.
Because sometimes I feel like it's both, right? Like,
I feel like it's a little mix of both.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's exhausting. It's like,
exhausting.
Being busy for fun reasons is not exhausting. It is exhausting, but, like, not in the same way.
Like I was saying earlier, I'm really lucky, I'm really grateful that I don't have rent costs right now. Like, I don't need to be, like, making sure I have, like, 40 hours a week. But I still work as much as I physically can, but with school, with work, with, like, events, and, like, all these little side quests, like, it's just hard to be, like, when I finally find time to sit, I sit and I, like, dive into this, you know?
Well, and sometimes it's like, well, what else would I do? Like...
But I think a lot of artists, like, a lot of creatives are just struggling also with time. Like, everyone has rent, you need to buy groceries, like, it's just, like... Economy-wise, it's hard to, like...
We did have a whole conversation about poverty that you guys missed. Sorry.
Yeah, we did.
Miss class.
That was a great conversation. But basically, it was just, like... There's
just not enough.
Like, everyone's kind of focused on making art to sell.
Yeah.
Not making art to just make art.
And it makes perfect
sense.
It makes perfect sense that that's exactly how it would go, because it's like, what else are you to do? You're trying to survive.
So I feel like the greatest challenge, to answer your question, is just, like... finding time to just do art for art.
Yeah.
And, like, not putting pressure on what's gonna sell and, like, just fun little cotton candy balaclavas, you know? Yeah. That's it.
And we talked about before, about play and how, like, important that is. And I think I kind of asked you something about, like, how important it is for you to be having fun when creating. So I'll ask you again. How much of a role do you think fun plays in, like, your motivation or, like, your desire to...
I used to, like, drag projects out. Like, one of my balaclavas, the first one I did, it was not fun. Like, I felt like I was forcing myself to do it and, like, forced myself to, like, sew everything was very tedious. It was necessary to learn, but, like, I now know that if I'm, like, feeling burnt out or tired... or, like, just not in the mood to do it, I'm not gonna do it. Like,
yeah, that's fair.
I'd rather do it when I'm in, like, a good, like, state, or, like, negative to get myself out of it, but, like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, exactly.
Like, I need to be able to enjoy it. If I'm not enjoying making it, it just makes me know I need a break.
And that's exactly it. I think my gauge is, like, if I'm getting grumpy pants, huffy puffy, like, I'm getting frustrated, I'm usually just hungry or I need water. And often, like, if I just stop and go back to it, I'm fine.
Yeah.
I just start to get really frustrated and I'm like, oh, well, that's when I'm not having fun. And that's when it's time for me to stop.
That's why I kind of brought a lot of different stuff to work with, because I was starting to get frustrated with that guy. Move on.
Yeah, well, and that's just it. It's like, sometimes I just need options. I don't need to... That's one thing I do really like about doing mixed media, is that, like, I can move on. Like, I was having a hard time with the strawberries and I was like,
move on.
I don't want to do the strawberries anymore. And so I can like do something vastly different too, not even just like painting a different section. It's like I can use a totally different material.
I used to be so hard on myself with like, I'm not doing this until I finish this project, and then I never would finish the project, so then I would never start another. And then I was just very restrictive, so now I'm just like...
And you're like, oh, so now I haven't actually crocheted in 10 years.
Yeah, literally. Now it's like I'm getting more things done by just like moving onto what I'm actually enjoying.
It'll always be there when you want to come back.
Exactly.
And like oftentimes, like I think it's, there's one thing that artists don't talk about enough, and it's quitting. And it's so important to quit.
Now you know when you stop. Yeah.
Know when to stop. Because if it's not working, it's not working, and oftentimes you just need to start over. And like, I've had it before where I think I said to you before, this painting, which one? This painting, that painting, and one other one were designed to be on small paper like this. And then I made them and I was like, this is fucking awful. And then I just redid it and it was so much better. So it's like, sometimes you actually just genuinely need to like, start over.
Start over.
Yeah, and it's just like, it's not working, and there's a reason it's not working.
Just listen to your body.
Listen to your body, listen to your mind, trust your creative instinct. And
I think I was asking you before, you're considering getting like back into like digital art and things like that. What does that look like for you?
So I think in part I want it, so I'm not going to do the same way that it was before, like I'm not going to do that many digital designs like that, but I think I want to do more work where either I'm like combining my mediums, like either doing that with mixed media, or I'm doing like flash designs or like things like that, because I do a lot of digital art. I just don't display that's any of the work that I really do, but most of my commissions are digital. Like I don't do that many painting commissions, so it like, I think I just kind of want to display that a little bit better. So I think however I end up doing that, I've kind of just like just on my portfolio when I redid my website.
Okay.
Plug my new website. But yeah, I think it's going to be more like that. It's going to be more like examples of what is possible versus like maybe just like one-off pieces. But I might do pieces as well. The problem with pieces though is that I want them to be done like this. Like I want them to be done with multiple materials. I want them to be done the way that they're envisioned. And like I don't think digital, like I think digital is better for like one-off ideas versus like a composition, not a composition. I think it'll be that, like one-off doodles, things like that.
Would you do tattoos?
I would do tattoos. I don't think I would do tattoos. Well, I wouldn't do tattoos on people, other than like maybe like if you wanted, I would get a tattoo for you, like for my friends. But I don't think I would do it. Like I don't know. I'm scared of like permanent things.
Art.
I do the designs for people that get tattoos. I'm happy to do that.
You get tattoo designed? Message Sammy. I just have like an empty slot on my link tree of commissions coming soon, and it just takes you to my TikTok. It's bait.
It's bait. You know, right now you have DMs, so DMs is good too.
Yeah, DMs is fine.
But it's nice to get as much information as possible before accepting it. That's the one thing I find difficult about DMs. This is welcome to my TED Talk. If you're getting a commission over DM or email, I ask you all the fields in the thing about that basically tell me whether or not I want to do it, like, or whether or not I have time or like capacity. And if it's important to get that information before you're like getting into interactions with people, like clients and stuff. Like if it's not something that you do, like you can email and be like, it's not something, whatever, versus like them doing a very brief inquiry and you explaining, and then, you know, you spent a lot of time essentially getting information out that you could have gotten in one go, and then you just spent like 30 minutes to an hour talking to somebody, and then there's nowhere for that project to go. You know what I mean? So it just like saves that time, and then it's like, and then I have records of everything. And you can get consent sign-offs as well, like where you're like, for example, some of my commissions, they don't want their thing on social media, it's a gift. And like, I put it on there, just so you know, there might be a social media fee. Very often there isn't. If I was working on a full painting, there would be a social media fee because it takes so much time. But a fee essentially that says like, oh, because this like is a value to my business, like filming my work and, you know, displaying it, whatever. If you opt out of that, know that it's like $15. And I have yet to charge it to anyone, even though they've said that they don't want to. It's just like, for digital pieces, they're so quick. It's not something I film anyways.
Doing big, you're taking time, you might as well get content out of it. And then...
Well, exactly. And it also just helps like advertising, like it's something that I'm working on. Commissions are scary.
What do you find the most difficult like part of being a creative? Like what's like trickiest part to handle for you and like your work-life balance and like...
I was going to say it's a work-life balance.
Yeah, sorry.
Well, the problem, I was thinking about this the other day because I work multiple jobs, including this one. And I think, like, the difficulty is it doesn't feel like work to me. So, though it's, like, a lot of what I'm doing is out and it's behind, like, there's paywalls or there's, like, you know, there's things that, like, where people are paying me to do stuff and I don't view it as work. Do you know what I mean? And then I just do it in my free time and then I'm like, oh, well, I've lost that, like, line now.
Yeah.
And because it's something I love to do, it doesn't, like, painting and things like that doesn't feel like work, but then you forget, like, what that pressure actually feels like and does to your body and all these things. And, like, I love to write, for example, and I'll be like, okay, well, I want to write this thing for X date, and I do it, whatever, and I'm like, oh wait, I forgot that was, like, a deadline I had in my head and a pressure that I put on myself versus, like, active rest, because writing is so meditative for me. I just, like, you know what I mean? Like, it's hard to, that's probably the hardest thing, is, like, navigating, like, at what point, because creativity, like we talked about, is spontaneous, and it almost, like, you get the itch, you got to do something about it. And so it's like, at what point, where's the line between, like, creating for the sake of creating because you want to create, and then also, like, if you're selling it, like, trying to find the time to make sure that both are being addressed is, like, probably my biggest challenge, because I, like, can't like, separate, because it's just, like, I mean, I'm grateful, really, if it's all enjoyable, focusing on actual rest and, like, making sure tension is reduced in my body and making sure I'm getting good sleep. Stretching, yeah, I'm really bad at stretching.
If you crochet and paint, do your stretches. My hands are cramping.
Oh my god, yeah.
Oh my
And,
god.
like, if you have arthritis that runs in the family, this is not medical advice, but just, like, take care of your
family.
Me too. And just, like, take care of your hands and whatever. Yeah, that's another thing. Like, there are things like occupational injuries, right? Like, people who are, I have carpal tunnel, basically. I don't think that's self-diagnosed. But, like, from tapping away on the computer.
Yeah.
And, like, one of the things I've learned is, like, your health is an investment, so, and that's not just, like, healthy food, obviously. I think that's where minds go, and, like, they think about, like, gym memberships and whatever, but I think a part of it is also, like, am I making sure that stretching is accessible to me? Am I, like, if I have to work 8 hours a day, for example, this was my justification. I took an edible before that happened. By the way, it's really important to note, because I took an edible and it was crazy. And I was laying in bed, and I was thinking about how much my back hurt, and then I bought a massager for my back for when I'm working. And it was, like, super impulsive of me. I'm not usually an impulsive shopper. And I bought it, and it's the best thing I've ever bought in my life. because in my head I'm like, well, I don't really have time to do as much, like, I can't, first of all, I can't afford a massage, no fucking way, even with my benefits, no way. I can't do that regularly, so how can I, like, make this accessible to me? And I was like, okay, well, this is an accessible way for me to, like, compromise with my experience, because, and this is, like we were saying, I don't even know if that was in this video or the other video, but we were talking about, like, making things, like, meeting yourself halfway.
Yeah.
And what was the context of that when we were talking about it? It was like, oh, it was about, like, journaling. Because we were talking about, like...
Oh, thank you, you're on a ball.
Like, if you're journaling and you just want to journal, but you don't have anything to say, I normally just write, like, I want to journal, nothing to say, and just, like, do it, because then you get the sense of accomplishment that you spent the time away, you've done what you, like, wanted to do, even if you didn't have, like, an idea or anything you wanted to say. It's like you are building the habit anyways. And I find that the more you do, like, you microdose your little joy, and you, like, I don't know, I think somehow time expands for it, if that makes any sense. It's like, well, first of all, it becomes more valuable because you felt it, you feel the benefits, the well-being, whatever. You're like, oh, I spent time creating, it's important to me. You feel good.
Even if it's, like, really quick, like you said, like, I always say things and then I'm like, oh, we should do this, we should do that. And, like, my friend, we went on a hike, and she's like, oh, we should, like, write down, like we thought of a prompt, and we're like, oh, we should journal that together. And she's like, you know what, fuck it, let's just do it right now. Like, we have time, we're sitting on a rock.
Yeah.
And literally, we're on a rock, but, like, we're on a rock, you know?
Yeah.
So...
Well, that too. Fuck,
it took, like, 5 minutes, and I'm like, oh, why didn't we just... You're so right, why didn't we just do it?
Yeah.
Like,
it's, like, it's choosing value of, like, the moment. You're like, well, how do I want to spend this moment?
Being mindful.
It's a hard lesson. So, unfortunately, I believe it's the lesson that we're meant... Like, I think it's one of the things that humans are meant to, like, deal with. I think that's just, like, when your soul joins your body, you shake hands and you say, you're gonna have to deal with this.
It took me a bit for it to, like, I still need to remind myself, but...
Oh, it's tough. Well, here's the thing, it's just, I'm probably repeating myself from this video, but I don't know, but life is a process of forgetting and remembering presence. And that's, I stand by that, because it genuinely is, and I feel like you experience these moments of presence, and that's when joy comes, and that's when you're able to also just like really like time becomes quite spacious. You feel like much more, I don't know, like rooted in your body and like experience, and nothing else seems to really concern you. And where's I going with this? Good not tie. Good not tie. Well, the point is that it's enjoyable, and then you just start to get a little addicted to it, and like it just
gets easier.
It just gets easier, yeah, because your brain is like, wait, I liked that.
Like, oh, I can make a hat. Let's do it again.
This is crazy. My brother told me a story. I have to just air this out on this. He was talking about how much he loves fruit, and that the way he learned that he loved fruit was in university. He ate a whole cantaloupe, and he was like, I felt great after. So now I make sure I eat loads of fruit all the time. I was like, you ate a full cantaloupe? He was like, yeah. And I was like, and that's what made you realize? Not that there's anything wrong with cantaloupe. I like cantaloupe, but it was just funny that I'm like, you ate a full one and you're like, I feel amazing.
That's it.
Cantaloupe, the secret to well-being.
Just eat a cantaloupe and things will clear for you.
Exactly. That's my motto. It's actually a cantaloupe.
Cantaloupe, not cantaloupe.
Sometimes I feel like it's a little bit like Truman Show-esque when you do this kind of stuff, which is why, like, part of it does feel a little dystopian to, like,
just talk to a camera.
It's one thing when you're alone, I think, because it feels like you're just, like, recording to, like, you're messaging your friends or, like, you're vlogging or whatever, but then when it's like this, I don't get how people do this. Like, I feel very, like, artificial.
But
question number 5. No?
5.
Yeah, 5. It's the last one, actually, but I'll have more. What is your advice for other artists that you would give to your younger self?
Just keep making things.
Keep making
things.
You're
gonna keep growing no matter what stage you're at. You're gonna keep getting better.
Yeah.
Don't be scared of what other people are gonna think. I think I was saying this in the other video. Like, post what you want. Like, no one's paying attention. Everyone's worried about themselves.
Yep.
But you, like, share your art with people. Share everything. Like,
share everything. Share the bad shit. Share the fuck ups.
You're learning. Like,
people love.
If you don't do it, you're never gonna learn anything.
I think the thing too is that, like, we forget that, like, the biggest reason social media exists is a tool for connection, and I think that people forget that we're very, like, connection deprived, especially in the West, and I think that, like, sharing as authentically as possible is one of the greatest tools for genuinely resonating with people, and people just want to feel less alone. So it's like, if you show up as you are, don't worry about it being perfect, don't worry about like, people want to see the stupid shit you do when you do something wrong, when you, I don't know, and people just, it's human. It's like when you go to like a school play, and you can feel that it's a school play, and it's just like so wholesome, because it's like, well, we're just doing this for the sake of doing it, and it's like, yeah, it's like, aw, it's very human.
Brought together, yeah.
Exactly. It's just like a very human thing to do, and so it's like enjoyable in that way. So just like do everything as you can and as you are.
Take as many opportunities as you possibly can, and like be true to like your body and your energy levels.
Yeah, that's a good one. That's a good one.
I was not like that for a while. I would burn myself out. I'd be like,
I still do.
I have no energy. I still do.
I'm so bad for it. It's
I'm
like
bad for it too.
It's hard because I'm like, well, I have about. This is what always happens. I drive the fucking train up against a wall, and then I crash. I either get sick or something happens, and then I'm forced to rest.
Yeah.
Every time. And I'm trying to gauge how long it takes for me to get there, so that I don't get there, and like I prioritize rest in the meantime. But sometimes like I get a little addicted. I'm like, well, I'm not there yet, so I'll just keep going. I'm like, no, you're trying to not get there, you know?
Yeah, it's hard to gauge though.
Oh, impossible. It's and the worst part is it's different based on your capacity or what's going on, like based off of like your fucking hormones too, how much energy you have.
Yeah. Ugh, the moon.
The moon. Fuck the moon. No, I love the moon. I'm a Cancer. I'm a moon lover, except I go to bed at 9 p.m.
That's like my goal.
Go to bed at 9?
Going to bed early. Well, I can't see myself crocheting in the morning. I don't know why. That's like a weird concept to me.
Well, normally you're sleeping in the morning, if that makes sense.
Like with it light out, I don't know. Like I've crocheted at a park and stuff. You know, that's a good time, but...
Yeah, but is that like midday?
It's like midday, yeah.
It's so funny. It's funny. Humans are so funny. Because like I'm also just like so particular about how I create. Like, sorry, music's gotta play. It's the weirdest thing. There's music not playing. It's gotta be daylight. That's mainly because of colors, though. Like I think
that makes sense.
I think that makes a big difference. I used to paint at night when I was in university because I had no other time that I was able to. How do you find that your rituals impact like the consistency of your work, or like how do you find that like your rituals impact your work in general?
My rituals.
Like, doing things like you go to work and you're like, you get gassed up and you're ready to crochet, like, what brings you there, and what do you do to, like, prepare?
I need to be in, like, a good, clean space to do it, so, like, I'll usually, like, have my room clean beforehand, even, like, before I go to work. If I know, like, I'm gonna come back to a clean space, like, it'll be, like a blank canvas, like, and just, like, sit and just, like, explore ideas.
I can explode all my shit everywhere.
Exactly, and usually it ends up in a disaster, because it's just, like...
Yeah, but you need the room to make the
yarn.
disaster.
Yes.
I think that's a good one.
I think that's basically
environment is huge. I don't think people realize how important... I'm such a little nerd about space. I think people don't understand how important it is. Like, the things that are around you impact you so much. And, like... the cleanliness of your space also impacts like your mindset, and this is super nerdy, but there's a book by Virginia Woolf called The Room of One's Own, and it talks about how essentially like it's an early feminist book, so I think it's still fucking first wave, but it's very much about like how women, the reason why there aren't that many women writers is because they don't have a room of their own to like do that in. Often they're like left in common spaces, and like they're essentially just isn't like the space to essentially actualize any of the things that you maybe would be inclined to do if you had the space to do it. It's really interesting, but it's kind of on that same vein where it's like the environment that you have. If you don't have like a clean space to do it in, I don't blame you.
Like I remember, I think it was a year ago. Like I was just in a bad environment where like I just didn't have space for myself. So like. It just made me very anxious, and like when I'm feeling anxious, it's overwhelmed. Like everything's a mess. I'm not really feeling creative. Like everything's kind of in front of me. I feel like I can't focus. You know? Yeah.
That makes sense because you're overstimulated.
I was constant overstimulation. There's so much going on, but now having like my own space again, like
it makes a difference.
Makes a difference. I'm not like anxious what other people are thinking of my space too. Like it's my own little bubble. You know. It can be messy, it can be clean. I have, like, slowly, like, I'll put things in certain spaces where, like, it'll be easier to access. Like, I move my laundry bin to my bathroom. Amazing. No more clothes on the floor, like, easy.
These are called supportive behaviors.
Yes.
Things that help you, behaviors that are small but help you achieve your goal. My favorite one is putting my gym clothes out the night before.
Yeah.
Because it makes a big difference. And also, it holds me accountable. Because then if I don't go, I gotta look at my clothes folded on my dresser. Well, this was great.
Yeah.
I'm hungry.
I'm hungry too.
Okay. We can get food. What do you want to eat? There's a lot around here.
There's a lot around here. Good Dairy Queen.
Okay. Dairy Queen order. Dairy Queen order.
Comment your Dairy Queen order below.
Regular poutine. And then I get either an Oreo brownie confection.
Dang.
Delicious. Or, lately I've been on the Smartie Blizzard, but instead of chocolate, hot fudge.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Damn.
Yes, sir.
I'm not vegetarian, so I get the chicken strip basket.
Yeah, $9 meal deal.
Yeah, $9 meal deal. Upgrade to a Blizzard for $1.
That's not bad.
Yeah.
Mary just gets the sundaes from that. I don't think you have to pay.
You don't pay extra, yeah. But you can do $1 extra, you get a Blizzard. Smarties, Blizzard, and Reese.
Oh, yeah.
And hot fudge.
No, like, fuck me up with some hot fudge.
Yeah.
Get me behind the counter.
I'm making myself just move over.
Okay, we'll get something to eat then. So then we'll wrap this up. Thank you so much for coming on the show. No. Please plug yourself.
Thanks for having me. This is fun. Look at our little... Did we show our things?
At the beginning, I think.
we did.
I've added stuff since.
I've added some... Look at that.
Look at us. Okay, plug yourself.
If you like crochet stuff, if you want to see some fun reels, some TikToks, my TikTok is Mia Camara.
I've been pronouncing her name wrong this whole time.
But psych, my Instagram is maia.camara. And then I also have an Etsy. I need to update the Etsy, but it's the Hippie Crochets. As I was formerly the Hippie Crochets. Formerly known as the Hippie Crochets. Yep. Okay, goodbye. Thank you. Goodbye. Boom.